Hey everybody, I'm Tom Mental Love here. Just want to make a little video for you talking about why it's so important that we watch the mind and not let it escape on us. I'm just washing the dishes, and I have this pot I have to clean, and as you can see, the food burned on the bottom of the pot. I was making some spaghetti sauce, and I allowed it to cook untended. And while cooking is a useful thing and a good thing, if you don't pay attention to it, things will burn. And now, if I continue cooking this, it would eventually even destroy the pot. The food, got burnt on the bottom, wasn't too bad. The sauce was still okay. But if you cook it too long and you don't pay attention to it, you'll ruin the food. So in this case, the sauce wouldn't have been edible. In fact, it becomes carcinogenic. Anytime there's burning, it's carcinogenic. So this is not too bad. This is the max I would still use it. It didn't taste burnt or anything, and it was just almost really burnt on. But this is not easy to get off. So I have to scrub this for a while. It's not just gonna come off super easy. Like it's burnt on there a bit. So the mind too is like this. If we don't pay attention to the mind, it'll just keep doing what it's doing, and we don't know where it's gonna go. We're not sure where it's gonna go. We don't know if we can trust it. Because we're not conscious of it. If we're not conscious of what's happening in the mind, it could lead us anywhere. Heaven and hell are born within the mind. They're discovered within the mind, experienced within the mind. And if we don't pay attention to our thoughts, everything just starts to burn. You'll find the mind has a natural propensity towards negative thoughts. And that's actually an evolutionary advantage. In nature, we needed to focus on being hyper alert, and is something wrong, or is somebody going to attack us? Is a tiger going to get us? Is somebody going to steal our food? Is an animal going to eat our food? We had to be on high alert because there was danger. We're pretty vulnerable species, human beings. We don't have claws. We don't, we're soft skinned. So there was a lot of danger in nature, and our brains have evolved to focus on negative experiences and anticipate negative experiences and be fearful, unfortunately. Now we have to overcome these tendencies. That can only be done through mindfulness. And if we watch the mind and observe it, there's a certain way we have to do it. We can't just watch it and identify with it. Oh, now look at all these negative thoughts and that's who I am. That's not the case. We have to watch it as a passive observer. So just as when we're cooking, we can't sit and demand that it be cooked now, or, oh, I can't believe the sauce is not, it's not a fettuccine sauce, it's a tomato sauce, and, by judging it and getting angry with it, it's not going to change the sauce. So with the mind, it's not going to change by judging it and getting angry with it. It will change, though, by observing it. So if we observe it with kindness, we pay attention to the sauce, and we cook it on the right temperature, we watch it mindfully, we don't forget about it for too long, it'll turn out just right. And the same thing with the mind. If we pay attention to it in the right way, in a way that's detached, and realizing that, hey, all these thoughts are arising and I didn't choose any of them. So if I didn't choose any of them, then are they really mine? And should I allow myself to get wrapped up in a thinking process that is self-perpetuating? It's more like a river. The river is just flowing, and there's all these little river moments. and they're just going on by themselves. Gravity is taking the case now, is taking its course, and it's just propelling everything forward. The mind is like a river. So the great thing is, if we observe the mind, we can watch, and eventually it will calm down. Eventually it will calm down, and we won't burn anymore. If we don't, we're just setting ourselves up for a disaster. It's a matter of time, because it'll become attached to this or that, these ideas. And if you really sit in meditation for longer than 5, 10, 15 minutes, if you have some longer meditations, you'll see how sticky the mind is, and how unconscious it really is. The one thing about meditation is it's wonderful in any amount, but you can be fooled into thinking that there's a lot of progress from shorter meditations, 5 minutes, 15 minutes, especially if you're doing some type of mantra or something. What happens is it'll suppress the mind pretty quickly, and you'll experience some peace, and you think, oh wow, I'm making a lot of progress, but it's really just a temporary thing. If you sit and meditate for longer periods, you're going to start to notice how wild the mind really is, how full it really is, because you get past that initial, okay, I've sat down and I'm meditating, and you have a certain amount of mindfulness strength because you've just decided to do that. But the mind will get lazy as time goes on, and you'll see it start to wander, start to grab towards things, start to have upsets. And it's through time and using wise attention that we can really start to identify what's actually happening in the mind, so that we can mindfully be aware of the processes, and stop identifying with it as mine, and as who I am. So it does take some effort. It's going to take some effort for me to clean this pot. It's going to take some time. Now, I could take this and I could scrub it really hard and aggressively, and I could injure myself and hurt my arm or my back or whatever. Or I can use what's just right for it. I might need to get some baking soda. I might need to put some water in it. I might need to boil it a little bit, soften it up. I might need to scrub it for quite some time. But you have to make sure you don't exhaust yourself with this. So meditation shouldn't be this strenuous effort. Mindfulness shouldn't be a strenuous effort. We need to do it in a way that we can withstand long periods. Our life is 24 hours a day. We're awake for at least, probably 22 of those hours. So that's a lot of time, and we want to make sure we don't burn ourselves out. So the way we can do that with mindfulness is to be kind, and be curious, and not go around just looking for something else to claim and cling and grab after, and just watch the mind and be aware of it, and be with your activities. So mindfulness is really about being in the present moment. And what is that really? What's being in the present moment? Does anybody really know what that is? These sort of colloquial spiritual memes get thrown around, but do we really know what that means to be in the present moment? And in order to be in the present moment, we need to be in touch with the body. Our lives are experienced through the body and the mind. So if we stay in touch with the body and the mind, in a compassionate way, in a soft way, and observe what's happening, be aware of what's happening. So if you're washing the dishes, you could be saying what you're doing, washing the dishes. It's better to label what you're doing and say, I'm washing the dishes, with a smile, than to allow the mind to go travel and get upset. And even if it doesn't get upset, it's just distracted, it's just worried, it's just thinking of all these other things. And yet, if we label it for what it is, then at least we're keeping it here, paying attention to what we're actually doing. You can also feel the body, so you can feel if you're washing dishes. So while I'm washing this, I could really struggle, or I can pay attention to it. I can pay attention to the scrubbing pad, and I can feel my hands. I can pay attention to how much effort I'm using. Is it too much? Is it too little? I can pay attention to the feelings of my muscles and consciously choose to relax them. Thank you. Thank you, muscles. Choose gratitude for my muscles. Thank you so much. Thank you for doing all this work, for helping me clean this pot. Couldn't do it on my own without you. There's lots of ways you can skillfully use the mind and prevent it from kind of proliferating. So really, it's really about tying the mind close to oneself, and keeping oneself as a refuge, as the Buddha says. So we don't just allow it to go off, and because the further it goes away into stories, into other people's lives, the more tired it's going to be, the more out of touch with reality it's going to be. If we can keep it close, pay attention to what's happening, feel the body, feel the breath, maybe label what you're doing, then you have a safe place to stay, a safe place to live and experience your life as it is in the present moment. So, I hope this has been helpful. I love you. Pay attention to your life. Don't allow the mind to burn you. Don't allow it to continue toiling and spilling and proliferating and creating all stories and getting attached to experiences and getting attached to sensations and thoughts. It's always a good idea to keep it close. They say keep your friends close, but keep your enemies closer. Well, your mind can be both a friend and an enemy, so you better keep it close, and pay attention to it. And you want to do that in a supportive way, in a way that is kind. So if your mind's having negative thoughts, don't beat yourself up. Say thank you, I love you, negative thoughts. I love you, complaining. May you be safe and happy. May you be peaceful. Talk to your thoughts, because at least you're aware of them when you're doing that. So I'm going to end the video here. I hope you have a wonderful day. I'm going to the beach, and I'm going to go and do some yoga and try to live a mindful day and a mindful life. And I hope you do also, for your own well-being, your own happiness. Love you.